everyone. My name is Aaron Barranco. I'm the Senior Vice President of Customer Success at Measurabl. Customer success is a SaaS term, so if you're not familiar with it, it's basically all things that have to deal with the customer. Let's see here. All right, so I've been with Measurabl for the past 6 years. When I started at Measurabl, we had about 13 customers, about 13 employees. We were a really small shop. 6 years later, we have almost 200 customers. We have 150 employees. We are the world's most widely adopted ESG platform for the commercial real estate world. On the slide here, you can see some of those logos. We work with some of the largest real estate owners and managers in the world, but we also do work with some occupiers as well. You can see folks like Twitter, Major League Baseball. These are really fun logos that we get to work with. Additionally, that find value in our platform. We have over 80,000 buildings in our platform, 12 billion square feet of real estate, and we span the globe. So 90 countries, and we keep growing. From a revenue perspective, we have almost $2 trillion in total asset value within Measurabl. And in terms of how we've grown, we've really grown with the market. So back when I started, most of the customers that I was working with were managing their entire ESG program in spreadsheets. And they were calculating all sorts of data quality issues, data assurances, et cetera, within those Excel files, and then reporting them out to the world in either the form of a CSR report. Maybe they were an early adopter of the Global Real Estate Sustainability Benchmark. Maybe they were reporting to CDP. But for the most part, it was one or two people in an ESG program, and they were doing all this stuff manually. We've seen that change greatly over time. As both of the Michaels were talking about, it's really critical to have a platform that is the source of truth for your data, where all of your information is centralized and that you can use to then report out on that information to any of those platforms or those benchmarks that I mentioned. And as we all know, they are changing, and we are seeing new benchmarks, new regulations by the day. And I think one of the things that both of the Michaels mentioned as well is that it's really important to be able to trust that data and, again, have a single source that you can use to manage that. So basically what you're seeing here is the results of our platform. As we've grown over the years, you can see that back when we started in 2013 and we're pitching this as a concept to folks, we didn't have too much information in our platform, but the square feet has grown, the spend has grown, the amount of capital projects and efficiency improvements that we track in our platform has grown, as well as the buildings, countries, et cetera. So we've really grown with the market. And one of the things that we really firmly believe at Measurabl is that there should be a virtuous flow of data from the meter to the market. So from that electricity meter at your building to the additional electricity meters across your entire portfolio, there should be one place where you can access that data, where you can trust that data, where you can report it out, not only to these benchmarks, but to investors as well. And we're seeing, again, that there are all types of ways in which our customers are seeking to report out that information. So Measurabl has a few different products. We have our core product, our core software, which is really a centralized repository for ESG data. We track energy, water, waste, carbon, efficiency improvement projects, technical audits, certifications, ratings, ordinances, et cetera. And we essentially wrap all that data up and allow you to report that out, again, to different benchmarks like GRESB or CDP that are asking for that information that otherwise you would need to gather from a variety of sources and put together manually. So that's sort of the software component that you can see, and that sits really between the meter and the market there. That sits at the building level. We also just recently released a data product. So since we have 12 billion square feet of information in our platform, we've been able to take that data and begin to anonymize it, and start looking at how we can estimate building usage. So if you're an LP, you're sort of assessing maybe buildings on the scale of 5, 10, 20, 50,000 buildings a year. Um, but you don't necessarily have access to the data that is at that building. We've been able to take the information that we have based on the universe of data within Measurabl and put together a data platform that allows you to collect large swaths of building level estimates that also includes publicly available data that isn't available anywhere else as easily as it is within Measurabl. So within a single click, you can download energy estimates, carbon estimates for, again, 10, 20, 50,000 buildings at a time, ordinance data, certifications, if they are LEED certified, if they are Energy Star certified. Those are all things that, again, flow virtuously into our platform. And then on the bottom here, you can see that we also introduced a professional services line. So being so close to the customer for the past 6, 7 years, we know that there are lots of ways to get data into a single platform and to collect it, but there can still exist gaps in that data. And so having a professional services function where you can have a dedicated person to assist with reaching out to tenants, to assist with reaching out to property managers, to help collect and verify the data that you're bringing into our platform is really crucial. This is some insight into our business model, and I won't spend too long here, but we charge by the building, and we think that that works really well with a lot of our building managers. And I'm just going to go through some of our UI here. So portfolio analysis is one of the most commonly used tools that we have. This is where you can actually see the performance of all the data that's come into the platform. And Measurabl is really like a data agnostic tool. We understand that building owners have lots of ways of gathering data, whether that's through real-time monitoring, whether that's through whole building gathering, whether that's through a bill pay provider. And we don't seek to necessarily discriminate there. We sort of in our vision want to make sure that you're bringing in and being able to analyze all the data um, based on the technology that you're using today. That comes into Measurabl. You can look at trends over time and customize and filter and export this type of information. We also look at data completeness and data accuracy. So one thing we found was that a lot of building owners found it hard to understand, okay, where exactly is my data living? For how much of a certain building and tenant space and common area am I actually collecting data for across different metrics? We developed a platform where you can track that and understand the completeness, which should give you a bigger picture of the accuracy of your buildings. I know I'm running out on time here, so um, I'll just run through two more of these slides. But one of the other features of our platform is being to track physical climate risk data. So, the question was asked earlier, what keeps you up at night? And I think for a lot of our customers, physical climate risk data is actually one of those things. So we bring in a number of risk factors and pathways into Measurabl across your portfolio where your other ESG data lives, so that you can understand the impact of potential risks based on those pathways. And last but not least, we help report out to investors. So I had mentioned earlier, Global Real Estate Sustainability Benchmark, CDP. We essentially automate the flow of data from the data that you've collected in our platform into those benchmarks, so that we can really take the burden of reporting off of you. We have APIs with both of those, and again, by virtue of having data flow from meter to market to benchmark, we have really seen results with our customers and not saving them time. A few of those Digital Realty, one of the largest data center REITs in the world. They use our platform. I was their first customer success manager, and we onboarded them. Brought all of their data into Measurabl, started helping them report to GRESB and CDP. They are now one of the leaders in their categories, and we've seen them consistently outperform their peers on a year-over-year basis. We've seen this with other companies as well. So I won't go through these other two folks. I know I'm out of time here, but again, I just wanted to say that it's there can be a world wherein that data does flow from that meter to market, and having a source of truth that you can trust, where you can access that data, where you can look at the accuracy of it, where you can really start making decisions on it, and measuring and managing it is what Measurabl is really here to provide. So thank you.